Welcome to the Joy in Purpose podcast. I'm Lola, a doctor of psychology with postdoctoral training in neuropsychology. Joy in Purpose is a platform for meaningful conversations about purpose, career development, and mental health. I also sit down with inspiring guests to share their unique purpose stories. Just a quick reminder, this podcast isn't a substitute for therapy. It's for educational purposes only. Thank you for joining me, and let's dive in. Today's topic is titled Introvert Superpowers: How to Overcome Self-Doubt and Boost Confidence. The power of introverts and building confidence. I recently came across a post that sparked a thought-provoking question. When will people start to ask how extroverts can be more quiet? This got me thinking about how society often misunderstands and underestimates the strengths of introverts. Today, I want us to unpack what it means to be an introvert, how shyness is often confused with introversion, and how confidence can be built whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. Let's start with the basics. What is an introvert? Introversion is not about being shy or socially awkward. Though these traits can coexist, an introvert is someone who tends to recharge in solitude. They value meaningful conversations and often processes thoughts and emotions internally before speaking. On the flip side, shyness typically refers to feelings of nervousness or discomfort in social interactions. It's important to recognize that not all introverts are shy, and not all shy individuals are introverts. In fact, you can be an extrovert and still experience moments of self doubt or timidity. You might be surprised by how many seemingly outgoing people wrestle with confidence issues daily. This reminds us that a lack of confidence doesn't have a single look. Both introverts and extroverts can struggle with self doubt, but both must confront its consequences. As I continue with my essay, I just want to address something really quickly, that I understand that some people don't like the classification of introvert, extrovert because they feel like they fit into both. Or secondly, they just don't like the classification, and that's okay. I'm using the term introvert and extrovert just for the sake of our conversation, so that when I say introvert, you kind of have an idea of the traits that I'm referring to. And when I say extrovert, you have an idea of traits that I might be referring to as well. I would like to discuss the unique power of introverts, because there's a strength to being an introvert. Introverts have a unique superpower, the ability to ask deep, thoughtful questions. This skill can be transformative, especially in relationships. While extroverts may shine in social situations, introverts often bring a sense of depth and insight that fosters meaningful connections. Introversion isn't just about being quiet or reserved, it's about observing, reflecting, and engaging with the world in a deliberate way. For many introverts, solitude provides the clarity and energy needed to thrive. But introversion is just one piece of the puzzle. It doesn't define your entire personality. You can be quiet in one setting and outgoing in another, and both are valid expressions of who you are. As someone who spent time learning from psychologists and exploring personal growth, I've come to appreciate the often overlooked strengths of introverts. Their introspective nature, their introspective nature is a powerful tool for healing, especially when navigating challenges like trauma, anxiety, or self-doubt. So whether you're an introvert, extrovert, or somewhere in between, embrace the unique parts of your personality. Speak up when it matters, take control of your story, and remember that your voice has value. I would like to say, I don't know if you can pick this up maybe from my other podcast episode, I am an introvert. So I'm rooting for all of us introvert out there. And I believe that extroverts can also learn from this episode because I'm about to dive into ways to boost confidence, which is helpful for introverts and also for extroverts as well. Confidence isn't something you're simply born with. It's a skill that requires consistent effort and self-awareness. The first step is to identify where you struggle the most, excuse me. Is it in one-on-one conversations, speaking in front of groups, interacting with authority figures, or those who challenge your worldview? Be honest with yourself about these areas and commit to growth. But remember, you don't have to go at it alone. Share your journey with trusted friends or mentors, or those people who uplift and affirm your identity. Surround yourself with people who encourage you, not those who tear you down with gossip or overly harsh criticism. It's okay to be selective about who you share your vulnerabilities with. Your confidence building process deserves a supportive environment. So I would like to end this podcast episode just by sharing ways that we can all continue to build our confidence. Create a plan. So if there's an area that you struggle with, whether it's speaking up for yourself, maybe to authority figures, maybe to a boss at work, maybe in a small group, in one-on-one conversations, that's something that you can practice. If it's in a group setting, for example, you can decide that, well, I'll be the first one to speak. I'll be the first one to share my idea. So that way it makes it easy for you. When you have a plan that and you practice beforehand, that definitely makes it more realistic and you're more likely to like follow through. Second one is exercise. There's something about exercising that helps with overall confidence. If you notice someone who takes their health seriously, they prioritize going to the gym, eating healthy, and there's something about working out consistently, eating healthy that just makes you feel good in your own body as well. So overall, people who work out consistently, they tend to be more confident. So that's definitely something for you to consider. Engaging in as part of your daily activity, whether 3 times a week, however way you can, whether it's going on long walks or short walks or joining a fitness group class, something that is consistent. Exercising definitely helps with overall confidence. Third, spend time with yourself. Whether it is taking yourself out, try a new hobby, or learn a new skill. Investing in yourself builds self-esteem. So it could be in so many different ways: going to a movie by yourself, going out to eat, going to the museum, going to an event that maybe, for example, you would have gone with others, or maybe your friends canceled on you. Don't just say, I'm not going to go and sit at home. Go anyways. There's something about you stepping out of your comfort zone and doing things alone that builds your overall confidence. Next, do your work well. So whether any of your responsibilities, whether you're volunteering at church, whether this is part of your job responsibilities, whatever it is, learning to do your work well. So being organized, showing up on time, putting extra effort to make sure that what you have set out to do turns out well. So doing your best to be your best is definitely important because before someone compliments you, you already know that you did a good job a lot of the time. So it's, in a way, you get to compliment yourself before anybody else can. And when you consistently produce good work, it has a way of boosting your self-confidence. Next is celebrate small wins. So progress, no matter how small, deserves recognition. So that time that you said no, when you really meant to say no, celebrate that. The time where, you said yes when you wanted to say yes, celebrate that as well. You spoke up first in a meeting, celebrate that. like acknowledge it, recognize it. So don't say, well, that was just a small thing. If it's a big deal, if it's a step in the direction that you want to go, definitely, definitely celebrate it. Lastly, be consistent. Some of us, a lot of things that I just shared in this episode, it's not like we don't know that already, but it's that we're not consistent. Today we're consistent, next week we're not. And life gets busy, life comes with its own challenges, life can be stressful. So I definitely understand, but there's something powerful about being consistent, whether it's with working out, it's speaking up for yourself, it's celebrating small wins, is consistently doing good work. So whenever you volunteer for something or you're engaging in any type of activity, you're telling yourself, I'm going to put my best foot forward. That is definitely something worth celebrating, and you should continue to be consistent. So, with this podcast episode, I hope you've come to realize the strength of being an introvert, which is you have so many superpowers of being reflective, asking deep, thought provoking questions, and you have a lot to contribute to the world. You definitely have value. So, I hope you're encouraged. And if there's any way as an introvert where you're shy, or you're an extrovert and you're shy and you need to work on that, I really hope that the tips that I just shared, you find them to be very helpful. I will put the link to the show notes, the link to my Instagram page in the show notes. I would love to hear from you, whether a comment on the post I'm going to make about this episode on Instagram, or maybe through a DM. So feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. Thank you so much for listening. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with friends and family who might benefit too. Remember, you are valuable and there's purpose within you. Don't forget to rate and review the Joy in Purpose podcast on your favorite platform. It really helps us grow. Wishing you a wonderful day.